any second from now. Okay. We're ready now. We begin tonight's program with a reaction from Chief Dele, Momodu, a publisher, and the 2011 presidential candidate of the NTP. Part of the innuendos or some of the statement attributed of what the FCT minister said was as to the character of those who are fronting as the leaders of the opposition, which Chief Dele Momodu, one of those persons in the opposition coalition, his name was mentioned. And some of these issues raised are going to be our point of conversation tonight. But before we get to speak with Chief Dele Momodu, let me bring you up to speed with those things that you need to know in politics today in Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu. The conference is jointly organized by the Senate and the House of Representatives. To enable them function well in executing its mandate. Speaking in Sokoto during an oversight function, the Deputy Chairman of the committee, Representative Sadiq Ango Abdullahi, says improved funding has become necessary due to the importance of good highways in advancing the nation's economy. 12 persons have been convicted for operating unlicensed pyramid business in the country. The chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission announced this during a workshop organized by the Securities and Exchange Commission for Judges with the theme Repositioning the Nigerian Capital Market for National Economic Transformation through Alternative Dispute Resolution. The EFCC boss adds that 48 others are currently facing legal proceedings.
A few months ago, EFCC had to release about 58 names of businesses operating in Nigeria, unlicensed businesses carrying out pyramid scheme. Nigeria.
In Taraba State, the state government has described as misleading the claim by unspecified persons that it has posted the governor's deputy chief of staff to the office of the state deputy governor as a replacement for the ailing deputy governor, who is on medical leave, while clarifying the appointment and redeployment of Mr. Emmanuel Lawson in a press briefing. The special advisor to the governor on political affairs, Professor Josiah Kente, reveals that the move is a temporary administrative oversight for effective governance and service delivery to residents. Today, the Enugu State Governor, Peter Mba, unveiled the state-owned airline, Enugu Air, describing it as a giant leap for the state and a gold standard for government-private sector partnership. The inaugural flight of the state-owned airline took off on earlier today, marking what the governor called a historic moment for the Enugu.
Let's get straight to it. So now took on China's television's Politics Today, the launch of what has become a searing critic of the newly unveiled opposition coalition now anchored on the African Democratic Congress platform, ADC. It dismisses its accusers as a gang of failed and expired politicians challenged their claim to rescue Nigeria, demanded that they present their governance scorecard, and even derided the likes of Dele as almost irrelevant in the political scheme in the country with no votes to their name. Mr. Wike went further, taunting the coalition for convening just 6 months into President Tinubu's term, labeling the effort premature and born of desperation. These remarks were not only personal but cutting the accused coalition leaders of exploiting national hardship for their own personal political gains. We've been hearing and getting reporters from the ADC defending the coalition as a genuine democratic force, portraying Mr. Wike's statement as a sign of dread and the rising strength. And now, tonight, Dele, the journalist and a publisher, former presidential candidate of the NCP, a key member of the ADC coalition, joining us right up on the program, Espresso, also talking about the remarks made on the Minister of the FCT, Dele Momodu, is eventually with us on the program. Thank you tonight, Dele Momodu, for joining us.
Good evening, Sharon, and I would like to thank the management of China's television for this opportunity, because a lot of people felt that you will be intimidated and bullied, and so you might not be able to take my response. So here we are, and I'm ready for your questions.
All right, we are always fair here on China's television, without having to use the very popular term by the former president Momodu of not belonging to anyone, but you have the interest of all the Nigerians. Your history with him, how you met with him. There's a particular part of the video which is made available to me, which I'd like our viewers to see. Let me play a portion of that video so that everyone can see.
One of the respected journalists to go and see whether it is 3D drawing. At the end of the day, by the time you go around the complex, you will know.
All right. On one hand, this is you in Rivers State. There seems to be some level of cordiality between you and Mr. Wike, and which I'm trying to use this video to establish my very first question, so that Nigerians can know exactly those who want to lead Nigeria, the issue of what they need to bring forward in terms of he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So again, this is you and Minister Wike, and it shows some level of cordiality. 2020 or 2021.
2022. 2022.
Pictures. So there are a lot of people who imagine that you and Minister Wike have a level of closeness. That in fact, he gave you a job and you lived with you were in River State. But the big question is that there are those who say you collected money from Minister Wike. And was it right to say you took money from him, or you were at some point housed in River State? But now, what went wrong? How did you both now start to be enemies?
Well, let me start with some of the messages I received early this morning. A former Attorney General reached out to me and pleaded with me not to wrestle with a pig. He advised that I should not wrestle with it. So I will set the record straight. So I'm not here to wrestle with someone who is absolutely shameless, who does not care about anything in this world other than his alcohol. What we witnessed on television last Friday was the height of recklessness and irresponsibility on the part of someone employed by the federal government of Nigeria to look after the interests of every Nigerian and not just that of his cronies, whether in PDP or in APC. It went beyond normal. And so, to answer your question frontally, I was a media consultant to Isom Wike around 2022, and you have the video there. I had interviewed Mazi Nnamdi on this very table. And thereafter, some people reached out to me that I should give Wike a right of reply because Mazi Nnamdi blasted him heavily that day. And of course, as a responsible journalist, I accepted to speak to him. He was very excited, and during the interview, he reached out directly, you have the video, that I should bring the Ovation team for 2 weeks. He said it with his own mouth. We didn't beg him. My job is my job. I don't ever joke with my job, and I respect whosoever is a client. Wike at that stage was still a bit normal. Read Wole Soyinka's Jiro's Metamorphosis. That's what has happened to Wike. Wike started from the spirit, demonic spirit of power. You know, when a man who has been a nobody gets power, he begins to change slowly and steadily. I don't know if you've read the book by the Brazilian author Paulo Freire, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. The oppressed man respects only one man, his oppressor. Wike used to respect Rotimi Amechi, and Rotimi Amechi had been my friend from the time he was Speaker of the River State House of Assembly. On one occasion, when they had their parliamentary conference in Accra, Ghana, Chibuke Rotimi Amechi led an okra. I never went on air to disparage them that okra fell on their garments. But that is Wike. So, after that, what happened was Wike got power. He became chairman of Phobia for local government. And that was when his metamorphosis started. Of course, after power in Nigeria comes the spirit of money. Also very demonic if you don't know how to manage it well. So Wike started making small money. He pretended to be supporting his boss, Rotimi Amechi. And then, thereafter, he had enough money to drink his choice alcohol from Akpeteshi, otherwise known as Gogoro. He started drinking the most expensive alcohol. I went into Google before this interview to check if there is any similarity or correlation between alcohol and drugs, and I got the confirmation I needed that in fact alcohol and drugs are one and the same. They perform the same effect in the drinker and the drunkard. So what I saw on display last Friday on your show showed a man who was absolutely soaked in esoteric spirits. A man who was on a different planet. He was no longer on our planet. Yes, I said it, yes. My appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that no matter what you are expected to gain from Wike in 2027, Wike is not the kind of character he should promote. He's not the kind of young man who should hijack our common patrimony. So, as I said, he brought us into Port Harcourt. He took us everywhere. You can see, he even gave me his Mercedes, his Maybach, his everything. I could do no wrong. When he could not face Nnamdi Kanu's guys in, Oyigbo. Do you know, I was the one who went in there as a journalist to talk to the people live. You can see him. He took me personally around the hospital he was building in the State House. I wish we had the voice. Then you would have seen the way he was introducing me, the great journalist, the great this, the great that. That's Wike for you. When Wike needs you, when Wike needed Dr. Dele, he was very meek. When he needed the patient Jonathan, he was very meek. If Wike needs you, he will do anything in this life. You can see me sitting down in front of him. That is his car. He told them to remove the flag. That was his official car. And I appreciated him for it because he was telling me how he used to watch me and his boss Amechi in those days flying helicopter. And I think the only time I flew an helicopter in Rivers was when we went for the funeral of then Vice President Goodluck Jonathan in Otoke. So we had to take an helicopter to go there, Wale Babalaki, I think Iyabo Obasanjo was on that flight with us. So he's been watching us for a long time. And sometimes, again, referring to pedagogy of the oppressed man, according to Paulo Freire, has only one dream in life, to become an oppressor. So when an oppressed man becomes an oppressor, he will go all out.
Let me jump in.
Let me finish that. He will go all out to now act worse than his former oppressor. Yes.
Dele Momodu, you appear to have benefited financially, of course, from Mr. Nyesom Wike. At what point did you fall out with him? What went wrong?
Mr. Nyesom Wike benefited immensely from my talents and from the pedigree of the Ovation Media Group. We touched him up. They say sometimes you can take a man out of the bush, but you cannot take the bush out of the man. We worked on Wike and he was happy. Every morning, when I'm in Port Harcourt, he will ask me to come to his house. We will make sure he dressed up very properly. We make sure that even we did a bit of speech therapy, telling him how to speak to people. But he had one major problem. That major problem was too much alcohol, which when he takes it, and he takes it as early as possible in the morning. I've never tasted gin and tonic in my life. He introduced me to it, that it's a very good drink and everything. I'm surprised he wasn't talking about all those drinks. He was talking about only food. So what then happened was that at some stage, I realized that he had presidential ambition. And I also had presidential ambition. Wike cannot take competition with anybody. So I now wrote a letter to him that my biggest asset is my access to the high and mighty and also the ordinary citizens of Nigeria. Everywhere I go, I meet them. And I told him that in the north of Nigeria, you know something, Wike has a pathological hatred for the northerners because of whatever, I don't know. So I told him, I said, it's going to be difficult for him to get the tickets of the PDP. And I wanted to announce to him that in case he decides not to run, he should support me. From that moment, he got angry. But what I said came true. A former president of Nigeria sent someone to me, someone very, very top, that they should tell me not to waste my money. If you are going to run a fair race, and then let's leave it there. I wrote a letter and I copied the former Attorney General.
Yeah.
Yes?
Then let me ask you, what caused all of this furore and led to personal attack is a question mark on those of you who are leading the opposition coalition. The question as to whether or not some of you have the credentials of the message of the gospel you are preaching right now to Nigerians. You're saying you're looking for a new Nigeria. You are bringing back a Nigeria that is different. But what is the credential of some of you? And those of you who have, some of it, you not apparently, because you have not been in power. Those who have been in power for several years, and it's question those who have not really had the requisite experience and capacity. The big question is that the ABC, the opposition,
about. There is no nation that is governed by saints. Nations are governed by performers. Leadership is not about politics. It is about managing people and resources. Please tell me how many politicians that we have today, whether in APC or in ADC or in PDP, who have done any business in their life successfully. So it will be an insult to some of us who have labored all our lives. I've been in politics since 1982 when I was 22 years old, and I've never been in any government. But I've interacted with global leaders, and none of them has two heads. It's about how you are able to manage people and resources. If you look today, you want to tell me that Peter Obi has not managed people and resources? You want to tell me that Atiku Abubakar has not managed people and resources? I mean, that would be unfair. So, if you look at those caliber of people and you rubbish them as doing nothing, I knew, for example, when Atiku was vice president of Nigeria, and now the economy was managed at the time, and the quality of young men he surrounded himself with in Aso Rock. I used to go there in those days. And by the way, most of them were from the south of Nigeria. Until today, the work we did for him from 2022 to 2023, I saw the quality of people around him. So it's unfair for Wike to come here. What has Wike done in his life? If he ever practiced, he would have been a charge and bail lawyer. If he ever practiced law, charge and bail.
Mr. Momodu, let's take a moment. I would like to know, because it does look like you favor Mr. Atiku Abubakar in getting the ticket of the opposition, because in part of what I've read about your views is the fact that you think Atiku Abubakar is the biggest and the nicest gateway for the opposition to be able to defeat Bola Tinubu and the APC in 2027. But I need to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll get your closing thoughts on how the pathway for the opposition in 2027 and the fact that you believe about Atiku Abubakar and the 2027 race against Bola Tinubu and the APC. Of course, after my conversation with Chief Dele Momodu, up next will be Mr. Daniel Bwala, presidential spokesperson, who will also be speaking on the
I would fast forward it, but I'm just enjoying him looking around like hey, what a shame. Hi, Nigeria, look at the level of leadership that we have descended to. Look at what we are talking about when people are being unalived every day. Insecurity everywhere. hospitals, no medicine, no doctors. This is what we are talking about. Other societies are building, leveraging on what they can do and looking into the future. Look at where Nigeria is. Look at what we are dealing with. Imagine somebody like Wike. People now have to go dirty and fight like a pig with him. This is the level we have gotten to. This is going to get worse. Wike is going to come back and he will do his own. He will carry band this time. And he will be singing with his designer. Useless, mindless people. Now to the show off, see as they talk about them now. Look at the level we have sunk to as human. Hey God. Like children, like immature, imbecile. God. Now wow, God I beg you. Imagine the rubbish we are being. Kai. Insult.
Daniel Voila. Daniel, how are you? I can't hear your audio, but I can see and feel what you are saying.
Good evening,
Good evening, Daniel. How are you?
very well, sir.
You abandoned me now.
I'm so sorry. I looked for you several times.
You didn't look for me, but it's okay. I understand. Otherwise, they will accuse you of being disloyal. They will tell you are disloyal. But you are my man still. Don't worry. Advance today.
So much, everyone. Our closing moment now with Chief Dele Momodu. The big question here, Chief Dele Momodu, is what the ADC and the opposition coalition platform has to offer Nigerians. You are of the opinion that it is either Atiku Abubakar or the opposition does not have a chance. Why would you say so?
I never said that. I said the best choice would be my candidate, which is what I expect obedience to say, which I expect those who are supporting Amechi to say. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm looking at number one, the numbers. This game is a game of number. And the people who are most aggrieved today are from northern part of Nigeria. And if you listen to Wike very well, they are all campaigning that the next president should still come from southern Nigeria. But they know very well that there is no southerner today. The only one who could have attempted it is Wike. And since he's already supporting Asiwaju, is not available. So the moment you see people waging a campaign of calumny against Atiku, you must know they feel threatened about Atiku. Even my brother, who is about to come on now, I listened to him a few days ago appealing to Atiku to come and join Tinubu. They all know how formidable he is. Since 1993, when he stepped down from our adopted father, who sadly died on this day in 1998, since then, the man has been pursuing his ambition without having any state governor to give him money. He's been running his business, investing in education, investing in agriculture. For me, this is a good example of what a leader should be in Nigeria. You will never find a thug in front of Atiku's house. Atiku will never call us, and Daniel was there to come and tell him how we can find someone in INEC to come and read on his behalf. For me, these are things that I appreciate about him, and it is my right to say those things. I have never asked anyone not to support. Obi is my very good friend. Today, if you ask me one of the people that I believe should lead the coalition, it will be Obi. And as a Democrat, I'm appealing to them. I hope they will be able to do it democratically, so that they will not say, oh, they forced one person on them. Let them all go to the field. Let all obedience campaign for Obi. Let all those articulates campaign for articulate. And let the Amechis campaign for Amechi. So that is my belief. And I don't think there is anything wrong with that. Only certificated Modaru people will go against such an arrangement. And I'm happy that the coalition is fully ready and prepared. It's a movement this time, unlike the APC. You know, when the APC started, a handful of people just left a few political parties and came together. But this time around, it's a movement. You can see the way the tsunami is starting already. And I'm very proud of the coalition.
Thank you so much, Chief Dele Momodu. I just want to say it's going to be almost a difficult task to be able to defeat Bola Tinubu and the APC in 2027.
Well, people will say that, but we are not God. Sometimes these things are destined, so let's wait and see. Thank you, Sheon.
It's a pleasure having you, Chief Dele Momodu, NCP presidential candidate in 2011, publisher of the Official Magazine. Thanks so much, Chief, for your time tonight.
Thank you, Sheon.
I'm now being joined by Dr. Daniel Bwala, a lawyer and a presidential spokesperson who is live for us from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, on the sideline of the BRICS meeting, which the President Bola Tinubu is attending. Thanks so much, Mr. Bwala, for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Dr. Sheon.
Thank you so much. If you look at the interview with Mr. Peter Obi and those in the opposition coalition, they are of the opinion and their views are that this government lacks empathy. This government is wasteful. This government lacks the ability to be able to run this country right.
You guys want to watch the rest of it? I don't know if he's going to say anything.
How to fix power.
Let me see. If he says anything, I doubt he said anything, but let me just check. Kilode. What's happening? Exactly. Now I don't want to listen to him lies. Now make me the. Okay, I don't know if they happen. No.
We remove the corruption in the subsidy before removing the subsidy.
Of criticism against
okay, no need. Na Bwala be the rest. My people. Now waiting as e dey hot oh. Now I bring am for now. As e dey hot. I never see something like this before for my life. Grown people behaving like children. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Wallahi. Who could listen to this one? This was prior to going on channels. So let me move this forward.
It's been a very busy day here for me. Too much work to do. You don't get light. Sorry. Ernest.
I beg, when you go start to dey talk, I don't want I dey look for. I beg go. I don't want me the.
Stop it straight down. Can you check it? I can see it in the camera. The very first table where I spoke to Wike before we did an interview. This was where I interviewed Mazi Nnamdi. So this is a very historic table. It's a special table. I bought this table over 20 years ago in Ghana. Yeah, it must be nearly 25 years now. I bought this table in Ghana. So you can see us setting up all the gadgets. So we're setting up. We're setting up. Make sure it doesn't fall down. Screw it tight. Am I a member of Pirates? No, I've never joined any mafia in my life. I'm a one-man mafia. Never. When I was in school, my friends tried everything possible. Yeah. They tried everything to make me join mafia or pirates. I had lots of friends. I enjoyed them because of my absolute love for Professor Wole Soyinka, but I was never tempted to join. For me, Soyinka is one of those people who can hardly do any wrong, even if he.
I beg.
Adam, good.
Okay, maybe now when he dey prep for the interview, me I think say something or something.
Is Michael ready? You can be Mr. Waldo.
I beg.
You can be
Sorry,
Mr.
guys.
Africa.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Me, I thought that okay.
Minister for FCT, Barrister Wike, my country people, how una dey? This country, Nigeria, we no go tired to dey hold our leaders accountable and to speak up for government because na the right thing to do. If we lose our sense of reason and consciousness as a people, then there is no need to call this place country. Maybe na zoo or animal farm where they just put all of us here to the wild, they suffer like say we dey wilderness. But if we care about our collective humanity, we must fix government and hold leaders accountable. Because me, I believe say absolute power corrupts absolutely, and you must checkmate people that have power. So yesterday, Minister for FCT do Thanksgiving for church. The Thanksgiving, they call them Thanksgiving for commissioning of projects in the FCT. And some people talk, say, and that Thanksgiving, they broadcast them live on national TV. Some people talk, say, it good to thank God and all that. And if you they follow, in fact, since the 2 years anniversary of Tinubu administration, most of the projects where he commission are the ones where minister do for Abuja. So as people they talk, say, good to thank God and all that, me, I just say, make I put some things into perspective. Make una self here and decide whether this is how to run a country, and whether as a people we dey place focus for where focus is needed to help ourselves as a people. This Ministry of FCT, this FCT administration, the budget where they approve for them by Senate this year is more than 1 trillion, about 1.8 trillion. And then all of the projects where they start to they carry out, nobody know exactly the clauses where they inside the budget, the contracts, how they award them, the bidding process and the competition, the companies and all of that. Now just between the FCT administration and the National Assembly. Now we don't know the one-man showmanship where they go on. Of course, whether there is need for investigation to know the actual cost of those projects. 1 kilometer road from here to that kitchen at the price where they tell you nights you go know. So all of those kind of alleged corruption go still be on ground. Yet to commission those projects, it go be carnival. We go organize theater, they go bring the band of the minister, that band na money, the media, press and everybody will go come, they go prepare. So we don't know whether those ones are also budgeted for and how much they budget for them. For road where we say you feel just open, make people go the pass, we go waste more taxpayer money on projects that already could be subjects of corruption. We waste extra taxpayer money for so-called commissioning of those projects. Now still from that budget, Naim today we they talk, so children for schools for that Abuja still day house for more than 2 months, a bit 3 months where they day on strike for those schools. So we never handled that one finish. So then again, from the FCT administration, they say they renovate International Conference Center. They name them after President Tinubu. It no end there. They also rename some halls after sitting politicians, Senate President, Speaker, House of Reps. The cafe where they name them after the Minister Wike Cafe. Then again, the one where even still touch me, the sitting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, they also name hall after her. That is the head of country judiciary. Does this not go against the principle of separation of power? Because as a sitting Chief Justice, this same minister for FCT and the people, the politicians where they work with for in party, at the end of another election, they are likely to be plaintiffs or defendants in front of your court. Share this one not follow for patronage, it not follow for gratification, it not cross the line of separation of power. In fact, they even they court now because the PDP was supposed to be the party of the FCT minister. Shebi they are in court that will also reach the Supreme Court. Nigeria, now there we did so. Now for this country, if minister for FCT won't do media chat, to go TV station, no they reach now to bring the journalists come where they go sit down, they fit reach like 4 or 5. Minister go sit down for throne and then they begin to ask questions, sometimes even making a mockery of the journalism profession, telling you people how you cannot read. And then nobody is interested to ask whether how much will they budget for these things? How are they appropriated for? How exactly are we spending taxpayer money? People will get power, they're so bold where they say they can do anything and they will tell the rest of you to hell with everybody. Then they come do Thanksgiving. They carry them live on national television. Do you know how much 1 hour of airtime costs? Who is budgeting for them? How are we spending it? Share as they do Thanksgiving for church, they go also go do for mosques, because Muslim, they Christian, they maybe they also go shrine, go do for the traditional worshippers. The message of the Reverend, another talk for another. The Reverend say, no, say Muslim President Tinubu go fit see vision. Other governors, governor of Edo State, Monday Okwebolo was there. Former governor of Benue, Samuel Otom. Former governor of Enugu, Ifeanyi Ugwanyi. All of them come there. All of these resources now from where? How will they run Nigeria, my people? Shena so country go move forward in a country. Nobody say me they no develop federal capital. In a country with more than 100 million people living in extreme and multi-dimensional poverty, youth unemployment, more than 20 million out of school children, maternal mortality, insecurity. Are these our priorities and how to manage public funds prudently, my dear people? Not to talk about the minister in own statement for the church. It be like complete campaign program. They get podium with the seal of the Minister for Federal Capital Territory. In fact, it will be like now Obi being own campaign topic for inside the church. My people, are you sure say we not deserve better as a country? Are you sure we are not supposed to be able to know exactly how money of taxpayers are being spent and how to hold public leaders accountable? Join the call for electoral reform to fix INEC. By 2027, Nigerians get a means of holding your leaders accountable. Nobody should play God for Nigerians. Make one person where people supposed to give power, we're supposed to everybody accountable to you. No come lord over everybody and become a principality or an oracle. For how long we go continue like this? For this one-man showmanship and paddy administration where we they see. Now our lives now we take the place. So God bless Nigeria, but may Nigerians wake up and help themselves. My name is Pete.
Weleke. Na so. Oh, so Nigeria. And like this it can be now. I don't know if you guys saw this interview of Patutomi. Did anybody see it? There's one interview I want to play. Now see him. Mona, let me know if you now watch him. Where is this interview? Okay, just type him in. Why is he asking me? No, I'm not asking you to record. Come on. Oh, you saw it briefly. Did you? Was there anything? I saw it, but I'm like, do I want to watch this?
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil.
But I'm enjoying them. I want Wike to be flogged thoroughly. I really want him to be flogged. Walai.
According to these online polls conducted by influencers, the best solution would be for all the aspirants in the coalition to stand behind Peter Obi and support him as the arrowhead that will challenge President Tinubu in 2027. And it's not just the influencers. Some respected journalists in traditional media platforms have been stridently making the same points, that if the coalition is to be taken seriously, it needs to win the trust of Nigerians by being demonstrably different from the outset. And according to these journos, Peter Obi is the kind of presidential material that any serious opposition party with an eye on the presidency needs, even though, according to one of them, Wale Olaoye, writing in the leadership newspaper, a lot of work still has to be done to sell Obi's candidature in the northern states. But he suggests that, controversial as it may sound, the most viable opposition the coalition can muster is one with Peter Obi as presidential candidate. Once that is done, he says, the group can then embark on the task of selling him to the electorate across the nation. But will Atiku in particular and Amechi and El Rufai consider standing aside for Peter Obi? And why should they, when the mathematical formula used to identify, select, process and analyze the respondents in these online polls may well not necessarily be representative? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the international multimedia journalist and former BBC correspondent Donu Kabara, who currently has a column in Vanguard newspaper, is a star of a YouTube channel called Donu's World, co-presents a podcast called Africa Here and Now, and writes for the Europe-based magazine Africa Report. And one of these online polls was conducted under the auspices of her media company. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Charles.
Tell us more about this poll you conducted and the results you got.
Okay, so it was a completely impulsive thing. I just thought, if we ran a poll on Twitter or X or Facebook or whatever, I wonder what people would say. Because you could live in an echo chamber full of yourself and people like you, and you all basically have the same views. So I thought, okay, I'll throw it open to the Twitter sphere and see what they say. I was quite taken aback by the results, because the week before I ran this poll, I took the trouble to do a special show, if you like, about Atiku and Amechi. I know both of them. I've met both of them. Amechi I used to be quite close to, and I know their strengths.
For Obi.
So I just thought, because I'm obedient. Let me forget about Peter. Don't even really mention Peter. Let's look at what Amechi and Atiku can offer if elected. So I did this program talking about the good things about them, and then I posted the poll, and I was shocked by the results. As you said earlier, Atiku only got 7%, Amechi only got 6%, and 87% said they didn't want either of them. Now, look, we all know that polls can be inaccurate. But I didn't select the people who took this poll. It was totally random.
Yeah, because I was going to, I don't mean to interrupt you, I was going to jump in there. You kind of ruined it by saying you're obedient. So a lot of people would immediately roll their eyes and say, well, if you're an obedient...
I would say that, wouldn't I?
Yeah, it's very likely that you would be inclining in that direction. And let's be clear that it's not an absolutely scientific poll.
It's not scientific.
But it was an online poll you conducted amongst those who subscribe to you or you know, your channel and so on.
Well, let me do a poll here. Let me see if I can do a poll here.
Just tell us a bit more about the methodology that you used.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what methodology X or Facebook use with these polls. All I know is that it's a resource that's available to anybody. You could do one tomorrow asking people, you know, do you think I'm handsome or ugly? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You can throw any questions out there to the general public.
And anybody in any part of the world can respond to it.
Exactly.
Right.
Where I would say there's probably some kind of bias is that the people who are paying attention to your videos and your posts, i.e. things like polls, are likely to be people who already have some kind of affinity with your thought processes and political preferences.
Yeah.
And
What's your credit card debt balance? If it's $10,000 or more, here are 3 easy solutions you can start implementing today. Number 1, the first step to tackling your credit card debt.
Yeah.
Okay,
see, in the Western world, where they have much more scientific polls like Mori and Ipsos in the UK,
they still get it wrong.
They still get it wrong sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand what you mean. I mean, it's very important because it's not really fair on Amechi and Atiku for us not to be absolutely clear on what the methodology is and what particularly the sample size, how representative they were. Because if it's something you throw open on Twitter, anybody anywhere in the world could respond to it. I mean, they could, you know, people could just respond. I mean, although you're right that it tends to be narrowed to the people who tend to follow what you're doing, or people who kind of cock an eye to what you're doing, and those people are more likely to be obedient, aren't they?
Well, I also point out that trolls who hate you and support the other side are also likely to keep an eye on what you're doing. And there was nothing to stop 10 million trolls from participating in this poll and saying rubbish, rubbish, Atiku is fantastic, Amechi is fantastic. And I didn't mention Peter. I think, so, you know, it's random. I think what polls do is they're a snapshot. They're a snapshot of a particular demographic at a particular point in time. They are not the end-all and be-all. If you run the same poll with the same group of people or on the same platform on another day, you might get different results. But it is very interesting that Rufai, your colleague, from the Morning Arise show, had pretty much the same results.
Yes, I saw that. In fact, we had that on the screen just now. But you also mentioned something else about one of your programs where you did something on, I can't remember whether you sort of Amechi or Atiku or something, and the number of hits or something you got.
That's right.
Quite clear on that.
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel called Donna's World.
Yeah,
and
which I watch from time to time.
Well, I should hope so too.
Very good, actually.
Thank you.
I have to say.
Thank you
very
much.
Interesting.
Thank you. Well, I watch prime time, so thank you. So
we'll start a mutual admiration club, shall we?
Well, what happens is that when you pick a certain topic that is massively appealing to the public, again, the random public, anybody can tune in and watch your show. YouTube is very democratic in that way. Some topics attract a lot of new subscribers and a lot of views. For example, when Prince Harry and Meghan visited Nigeria last year, I did a couple of shows on them and, you know, kind of there was the responses were off the wall, thousands and thousands. The same thing, to some extent, happened this month with my channel. After a program on P2B, I got 611 new subscribers. But when I did a program about Amechi and Atiku the following week, I only got something like 170. So that's another indication, to some extent, of the popularity of the topic or individual that you are discussing.
Yeah, but it also depends, because to be fair, when Rotimi Amechi was on this program just a few weeks ago, sitting where you're sitting, I mean, he got more than 200,000 views within 48 hours after it was uploaded to YouTube. So the number of hits is not necessarily reflective of how popular someone is. It could also be how notorious or how infamous that person is. I mean, they tend to attract sort of, or how controversial they are.
That was certainly the case with Harry and Meghan, because a lot of the thousands and thousands who responded thoroughly disapprove of Meghan's decision to drag Harry out of the royal family, as I do. And so, you know, you can also get people who don't like you responding. So I suppose it's possible that the 611 Peter Obi hits or subscribers could have been people who hate him.
Well, I don't know, to be honest.
But what I was going to say is that I am very, very sensitive to this issue of your audience is almost sort of like subconsciously self-selecting. And so I'm a southerner. I'm from the South. I make a lot of noise about what's happening in the Niger Delta or in Rivers State, where I come from. And so, you know, and my mother's from the Southeast. And, you know, I'm a southern person. And so I also have a lot of Yoruba friends from the Southwest. I'm not saying I don't have friends from the North, but, you know, my demographic is quite heavily weighted towards the South. So I'm quite aware of the possibility that my audience is not northern enough. There's not enough of a balance or a mix. And I'm doing something about that. I'm actually arranging a poll for Kano, Maiduguri, and places like that. And I'm trying to find a way of making sure there's enough inclusion so that, you know,
if you're turning 65 or beyond, you're going to want to watch this. There are a lot of people today that are Medicare eligible that are enrolling in Advantage plans because of all the advertisement.
Places like that. And I'm trying to find a way of making sure there's enough inclusion so that, you know, we reflect.
No, it will only be obedient.
Who are not from my side of
I don't think the trolls will show up.
That's a good point. I mean,
even if they do, they'll be limited. So there's no need. You have a point.
Isn't there, which remains a big issue, because I've seen
Michael, you're not serious.
Polls that looked at Atiku and Amechi and El Rufai and all that, and that was a big issue, the question of public trust, but which Obi seemed to have in abundance. And
well, overwhelmingly, Peter Obi supporters here for a better Nigeria.
I just find that Peter Obi is way and above the most popular politician in Nigeria today, and has been for the past 3 years. I'm talking about from the year preceding the election when he left the PDP to become a candidate in his own right. I also would like to remind everybody that Peter ran alongside Atiku in 2019, and they didn't do that well.
Exactly.
So there's something about Peter on his own that seems to work.
Right.
Now, when I go to other places, like I went to Sierra Leone recently, lots and lots of people said to me, do you know Peter Obi? Once they found out I was Nigerian, Sierra Leoneans. When I am in London, Uber drivers, even Yoruba ones, who we would think would be Ashiwaju, often say, Madam, what do you do? And I tell them, and they say, do I know Peter Obi? That Peter Obi is their man. So I just think he's very, very popular. Do you know what I think? This is a very radical thought, I suppose. I think the only other person who could possibly have gained this kind of traction if he'd had the opportunity to run would have been Oshibajo, the former vice president.
Yeah.
I think if the APC
perhaps though,
had thrown Oshibajo up, I think he could have given Peter a run for his money in terms of public perception and popularity.
But I mean, are you at all, because you talked about the fact that Peter Obi ran with Atiku in 2019 and they didn't get anywhere, but then when he ran on his own, he kind of chalked up quite a lot of votes. I mean, are you at all bothered in that regard by the political bedfellows that Peter Obi is now wallowing with or forced to join up with in this coalition?
To be honest with you, I was very concerned and still am concerned to some extent. And I know a lot of Obedients are really, really, really unhappy about this issue about bedfellows. But the thing is, can Peter win on his own? Can this country be delivered from APC rule by Peter Obi as a single entity, a solo entity? I don't know. But it's always the safety in numbers, okay? And I think it's almost impossible to be a member of any club or alliance in which you like everybody who's involved. It was the same thing in 2013, 2014.
Exactly.
When was it ACN and CPC were coming together to form the APC. Look, most people are only interested in Buhari. Because Buhari had this image of being a man with a ramrod straight spine who didn't take nonsense, was very, very allergic to corruption. And I, for one, I fell for it. You know, I wasn't interested in the rest of them. And most people I know who supported Buhari had the same thing. It was like, oh, well, all right, if we have to put up with Tinubu as well and this person and that person, fine. But the real person we want is Buhari. I think at that time they said by himself he could command 12 million votes from Talakawas, which is poor people in the north, the masses. And I think Peter's a bit like that. You know, by himself he can command millions of votes. And there are some good people in the ADC alliance, just like there were in the APC. I mean, it wasn't only Buhari who commanded my respect in 2013, 2014. And it isn't only Peter who commands my respect now. But there's definitely going to be a lot of people dotted around whom you really rather not see standing next to him.
Well, I mean, the key issue here is about the impact, if he becomes preeminent, that it might have on that coalition alliance that you're talking about. I mean, the coalition alliance, you know, virtually the same word, but if the coalition starts its journey by being divided and polarized in competition with each other over this, who's going to get the presidential ticket, then the whole point of collaboration would have been dashed, wouldn't it? I mean, and you might as well, if you like, lay the coalition to rest.
Okay, so they've got 2 years to sort this out, okay? And I imagine they'll sort it out this year. I think that Atiku, for whom I do have some respect, genuinely, he's not perfect, but I think he's got some good points, some strengths in his character. I think Atiku should become the daddy of this thing. He should become a statesman who stands behind Peter and whoever his running mate will be, which I hope is Dati. Well, I mean, I don't know. It could be somebody else. I took a shine to Dati because he's so outspoken. But that doesn't mean I agree with everything he says. But I quite like people who say what they're thinking, you know? In you know, straight shooters. Anyway. You know? In you know, straight shooters. Anyway. I think Atiku should be the father in this situation. He shouldn't compete with them anymore. If you like, they almost beneath him. He's a former vice president. He's nearly 80. Yeah? And I think if Atiku does that and rallies the northern vote, I think they could do rather well.
But some would make the argument that when you compare Atiku in terms of age with Tinubu, and Tinubu is obviously planning to run again, at least that's what we think at this point, in 2027, then there's absolutely no reason why Atiku shouldn't run. I mean, you yourself said on one of your programs that Tinubu is not a spring chicken when it comes to age, and that it won't be the end of the world if his time in office ends in 2027, having served one term. But clearly he's planning to run. Nobody's sitting down. I mean, a lot of people are focusing on Atiku in terms of age, but nobody's really talking that much about Tinubu himself as well. And he clearly is already incumbent, and he's, you know, fully planning to run in 2027?
Well, he shouldn't. There are lots of things we all do that we shouldn't do. We're human. He's enjoying the power. If he can still stand on his two legs and, mount a pulpit or a rostrum, he can go ahead, but he's too old, in my opinion. I think we need, slightly younger people. And so I'm not discriminating against Atiku. I think both Atiku and Tinubu should stand aside. I do. And not just because of age, where Tinubu is concerned. I want to lodge a serious complaint against Tinubu. I think he's really bad for this country. I used to have some regard for him. But after what he's done in Rivers State with the state of emergency...
That's your state.
My state. I'm just appalled by his behavior. And then there are so many other things. Like, you're coming in from the airport, and every single lamppost has a poster of Tinubu on it. The same thing along many of the highways in town. What kind of cult of personality nonsense is this? You're supposed to be using those billboards as a means to celebrate the country and what it has to offer. They should be saying things like, welcome to Abuja, come to the cultural center, blah, blah, blah. It's all him, him, him. So I don't like this cult of personality. I think it's unhealthy. I think it's tyrannical. And I would really, really like to see him move on. And do you know what? Nobody's all bad. They say that things like some of his, even the mighty Financial Times newspaper of the United Kingdom recently wrote an article in which it praised Tinubu for certain economic moves. I mean, I didn't agree with the article, but hey, I'm not an economics expert. And so there are some things
but, I mean, isn't it the same sort of, perhaps in a slightly different way, but similar as well, the same kind of cult of personality that you've got around Peter Obi, for example? I mean, Peter Obi has a movement that has adopted his name as their, their name tag. They're called Obedience. I mean, they follow Peter Obi like through thick and thin. I mean, if you listen to them on the internet, read their stuff on the internet, it's like, we don't care what he does, we don't care where he goes, we're going to follow him. So isn't that the same kind of cult of personality?
No.
Well, anybody who's fortunate enough to have a name that lends itself well to that kind of sloganizing or sloganeering is lucky.
Yeah.
After all, you have articulated. You have in Rivers State a deadbeat governor who has just surrendered completely to the forces of God knows what.
I like
His
that.
name is Simfubara. His group were called Simplified. So, the obedient thing is the same thing. It's a play on words. But I think, I can even just see him on the screen, and I'm just so irritated. We'll talk about him another day. The thing, I don't approve of unconditional worship of anybody.
Yeah.
I do not approve of hero worship. If Peter Obi does something really obnoxious tomorrow, I will be the first one to say so.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So, I know that there are people who, even if he was caught misbehaving in the worst possible way, they will still not give way and admit that he could be wrong. But I do not believe to that. I do not belong to that school of thought.
Right, but you just to be clear, you don't mind him being in the coalition, or you would have preferred it if he stood on his own as he did in 2023.
Yes, exactly. That's it. I would have preferred him to stand on his own, but I don't. I can live with the coalition.
Right.
And I think don't listen. What I keep on telling people: do not listen to this view that Ashiwaju Jagaba is so omnipotent, omniscient that nobody else stands a chance of beating him in 2027. It's not a done deal. If the coalition gets its act together, curbs its more...
I love her! She speaks her mind! Unabated, man.
Unsavory members and presents a united front. There's no reason why Tinubu and APC cannot be replaced in 2027.
Right, but what about the bounds the bounce that Atiku got from coming second in the 2023 election, and Amechi got from coming second in the 2023 APC primaries. I mean, should they just forget about all that? No, because it suggests that they have considerable popularity amongst the Nigerian people.
First of all, I don't trust the results of the 2023 election. I have no idea who really won it. I really don't. There was so much mago. I don't know who won the 2023 election in certain states and federally. So I can't say for sure that Atiku came second. It could be that Peter came first and they shoved him to third to bring him down a peg or two and demoralize his supporters.
Yep. I love her.
Maybe he didn't win, but I'm not sure of that because of INEC's disgraceful performance.
Yep.
Then, on the issue of Amechi coming second in the PDP primary, in the APC primaries, I was rather proud of him because people were caving in one after the other, giving their votes to Shiwaju and stepping back for Shiwaju. I was very proud of Amechi for standing his ground and insisting on going ahead, even though it was obvious he wasn't going to go anywhere in that bribe-charged environment.
Yeah, well, one of the things that was mentioned as a cautionary note to the coalition is that if they choose Peter Obi as their candidate, they have to figure out how to sell him to the north. I think it was Wale Olaoye.
He's already been sold to the north.
Leadership newspaper. How careful should they be not to poke that bear?
This thing about the north. Well, from what I can see, Tinubu has already upset a lot of northerners. So I would say that many of them, at least the ones in my personal circle, not all of them, but some, have no intention of supporting him again. I don't know what he promised them that they're so bitter against him. And I'm going to tell you that even amongst obedience, there is a branch of the obedience movement that thinks the only good thing Tinubu has ever done is putting the North in its place. Now, I don't have a view on that. But all I can say is that I'm not sure it's going to be that difficult to topple Tinubu in the North this time round. That's if he even won the North in the first place. How do you know that Atiku didn't win the North? How do you know that Peter didn't do much better in the North?
He did much better.
We're only relying on the numbers that INEC gave us.
To be honest, that's all we can rely on.
Yes.
I mean, what would your advice be to the leadership of the ADC coalition going forward? We've got about a minute and a half left in this very interesting conversation.
Our generators are the safest, most reliable, and have the longest life cycles on the market, period.
Going forward, we've got about a minute and a half left in this very interesting conversation.
One of the reasons why people voted for Buhari, even though they didn't like a lot of the people around him, was they believed he was a disciplined man who, if he got into office, would control all the bad eggs in his party. That is what I'm hoping with Peter Obi, is that if he makes it, some of these people who need to be disciplined or need to be pushed aside politely, not necessarily insulted or disrespected, and maybe they could even be rewarded, but I would say that you need to put the most popular person front and center. You need to assure the public that those who have a less than fantastic reputation are not going to be the image of the party. They're not going to have that much power. And I suppose it's such a difficult balancing act, because you can't go around saying, well, this guy is my political ally, but, I know he's a rogue, so if I win the presidency, I'm going to marginalize him, because obviously he's going to get pissed off and he's not going to support you. So it's difficult. I don't envy Peter. I don't envy Atiku. I don't envy Amechi. They have to find some kind of balance that works, But, I just think Nigerians, they have shown so little tendency to stand up and be counted when the wrong thing is done. I call them the sheeple, the Nigerian sheeple. Stop behaving like sheep. Look at everything that's going on, judge, and protest when there's a reason to protest.
On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed. Donu Kubara is the international
I appreciate her honesty. Honestly, she don't talk and finish. Wallahi, nothing to add. She has said it all. She don't talk and finish. There's nothing else to hide, to add at all. You know? Because the truth is that if we stand up, maybe Peter Obi will not even have to. All this one they say coalition, give us. We not go even need to talk am because we believe in our own firepower. But here we are, right? Here we are. I like the fact she speaks her mind, and I appreciate that about her. You know, it is what it is. I mean, I agree with what she said. You know, I agree with her opinion. But we'll see how it goes. I wanted to that fight. Nice sweet me pass. That written in the column. Dele Momodu and Wike fight. The thing they sweet me. Wallahi, I'm not gonna lie to you now. I wish they would fight and get, like tear each other clothes publicly. I want make Wike. What Wike go do? If na me be Wike, make I just give Wike. Make Wike call band. Make come sing again. Make they can't disgrace themselves one more time. It'll be nice to see, to be honest, because waiting remain now. These people are busy. They are busy or always busy disgracing themselves everywhere they go. And I have a question. Why is it that every time Wike goes to, why is it that the journalists go to Wike to go and meet him? Why not they come their studio? Only on rare occasions now they come studio. Now so that they pet them like king. I don't understand. I don't get it. Eh? Now yes, Senator Natasha go likely return to Senate next week Tuesday, right? So now hear that one too. We dey keep our eye on that one. We won't see what will happen. By the way, did you hear that your Minister of Power is trying to run for Oyo State governor? He don't declare in governorship interest. I hope you guys are aware. Oh, so Nigeria. Look at the level of leadership that you people have. Are you people not ashamed? Hey God, oh, my body they do me jiggly one kind. Say, hey, which kind of embarrassment with this? Look at young old men behave like babies, fighting like toddlers. Hey, be like me, I carry cane go flog both of them. Eh? Disgracing the entire country. Meanwhile, we have big fish to fry. People no fit afford. Asthma medication don't go up. People when they asthmatic for Nigeria no be here. There are many. It's now gone up. A lot of people cannot afford it again. We have so many situations going on in Nigeria. Your journalists are engrossed. They are busy talking about campaign. Oh God. Oh my show. Man. I thought about that too. See, I say Wike is going to withdraw Momodu's property in Abuja. He will cancel it. He go here wake up and you see the demolishers. They will show up for a house. If he get house for Abuja, may go. Hey, oh my God! Even and I mean, listening to this guy's interview, even Momodu. Talking about, I'm proud, I like Shiwole Soyinka or whatever. I'm like, these people are psychophants. I'm sorry. I don't have any regards for these people. Look at how he's talking. People that cannot speak the truth. Now because Wike, he and Wike, they are fighting. It's now he knows that Wike likes power. It is now he knows that Wike is somebody that will kiss up to you. So they know. Omo. Forget these people are jokers, man. AB, welcome. Oh, exactly. Honestly, the fight they sweet me. Oh, may they beat each other, naked each other. Now that one remain for me. May they tear their clothes. Wike pays big money to get journalists to come to his house. Where it not be our money? They pay. This is what I say to my Muslim friends who don't want to be for religious reasons to quit their jobs if their bosses are not Muslims, because exactly not to quit your job. Because if na non-Muslim hire you, quit am. Reno tried it but paid peanuts, so they gave him intents to go inspect coastal. I'm telling you. They give am, no go inspect highway. I've been at the work where they give am. They send a message like toddler. We should be enjoying ourselves watching them fight each other. Some mumu Nigerians are busy side fire. All of them, they chop from the same pot. You know, seeing with Buala, they gist just now. If they tell Buala, I understand, they will call you an enemy. You are still my man. Is that not stupidity? He needs to be tamed. Sid needs to be tamed. Oh, he don't relocate to Ghana. You still get property for Abuja now. Not these people that they like get property all over. See what they talk. He say, I like to be around people with power. I like the access to power. Oh God. Oh my show. Wike assets is in Ghana. Oh really? Dele Momodu not get house in Abuja. Remember Dele once said he had his first house, like I think 57. Okay. I don't want to know. He's close to their president. He was there on exile. Dele assets is in Ghana. Okay. So they intentionally go and build their assets outside of Nigeria now because they are afraid of the backlash. Is that what this is all about? Because why build? So you are taking money from here to Ghana. Is that not crazy? You see what your politicians are doing? Yeah? Man. What a shame, Sha.
We don't get criticizing. We don't forming a body which challenge the ruling party. Is the way you behave, the programs you are putting on the table.
Because Ghana is more stable. Yeah, I know that, but not be they make Nigeria not stable. Are they not all part of the problem? They run away to go and build, and they think that their own will remain stable forever. Okay, no wahala, not be this word with day. According to my mama go say 99 years is not forever. You get expiration date, abi? No wahala. I'm telling you, now maybe that they see they finish for Ghana now. They are complete. If you see the way they talk about Nigerians in Ghana, hey God, you need to get on some of these TikToks. You go they shame. Oh God. People that are saying that they are writing letters to their government to ban Nigerians from coming in. Ghanaians are writing letters to their reps to ban Nigerians from coming in. This is how bad it has gotten. Very soon, I won't be surprised if Ghana start to give Nigeria the South African treatment. Oh God. Okay, go Ghana on exile. Okay. Dele ran from Abacha. All right. Oh my shit. Latest attack is against Igbo Zinga. I saw that. It's crazy. Yes, I saw that. Matter of fact, let me see. I saw that video. But I just don't want to bring it here because I want us to, but this is painful. I won't lie to you. I saw the clip, not just on this clip that you're talking about, Kenny. There's a whole life on TikTok that I saw yesterday or so. All the people that were calling in were Yoruba news. telling the Ghanaians to drive Igbo people. It was very hard to listen to. It was so hard to listen to. The panel was full. Half of that panel, they were Yoruba Ronu people. Honestly, let me not just, I don't want to stir up any sort of this is why we must get leadership right. I don't care what anybody says. This is the reason why we have to get leadership right. No excuses. Because if we have the right leadership, all this nonsense when they see for social media, we not go to see them. I'm telling you, all this nonsense that we are seeing and hearing about, we won't be seeing it. We won't. Eh? Let me there's a video I want to play for you guys, and then I'm going to call it tonight. I don't try today. I go bed early.
This video as an I'm making this video as an elder statesman in the Nigerian entertainment industry. I'll start with a quick story. You know, when the white men came to Africa to enslave us, they came under the disguise of coming in peace, grants, favors. We come to help. So the white man went to our own traditional rulers, the Kabiesis, the Obas, the Obis. They said, oh, we come with glad tidings from the great queen of England from the 70s. And before you know it, they give the Obas, they give them insignificant things like mirror, umbrellas, plates. And of course, our Obas got excited by seeing themselves for the first time in the mirror. Ah, you mean the queen gave me this? Go carry. Calls on a slave. Give the queen 10 slaves from my slave and tell the queen that we really appreciate what she's doing. The same people, halfway into the journey, they stop with the Dogari and say, hey, you know there's more from where that came from. Ah, see, I'll give you your own mirror. Just add about 2 or 3 people in there. And fast forward to what it is. 10 million men from Africa. People started capturing themselves from villages from them and led to 10 million black Africans being enslaved. Today is 2025. And for you to allow your platform to be used by sworn enemies of Africa, the people that want to reduce world population and take Africa out in the picture, the people that wants to take over our agriculture and feed our people plants that they can't replant, the people that want to take us out as people, you're all educated and you know very well what you're doing. It's insignificant. Whatever you get, whatever money you've given, whatever they pay you becomes insignificant when your own people becomes the price. I come in peace.
This is in relation to the GMO matter. I have lots of videos about those GMOs, but maybe another day. So you guys should go and educate yourselves on this GMO thing. It's real, oh. It is real. ABC, you think Ghanaians Ghana can't do that because they need Nigerian business for the. They are not be from the conversation so far. Oh, see, I'm sorry. Not be with the conversation so far. Oh, Omo, you need to hear them to know. You think that Ghanaians have forgotten what Nigeria did to them in the early 80s? You need to be. Omo, AB, that's not a beg. That one a long time ago. We know that this one is fresh now. That's what happened then is not why they are doing this now. Okay, a lot of Yoruba Ronus are going on these platforms and are talking trash. I'm sorry. I just don't want to play the video because we have big fish to fry. If we have the right type of leadership, all this crap, this bullshit, we will not be experiencing it. We'll be dealing with people who do stuff like that. But here we are. So don't bring that lame excuse. That one don't take. We don't even turn on to joke self. We laugh each other. Turns out Ghanaians did it to Nigerians first. In case you don't know, I beg you go and read your history well. All right. Exactly. This is why Tinubu must go. This is the exact reason, because when you have terrible leadership, this is what you get. Right? This is what you get. This is what you get. When you have leadership that is greedy, selfish, gluttonous, this is what you get. Citizens are calling it. Imagine going to a foreign. This is what they did in South Africa when they were having bad. Yoruba Ronus will go to South Africa and was telling them, to the extent South Africans started calling them out. African American platforms, they will go. Those ones were calling them out. They didn't know that those ones know what's going on in social media. The Yoruba Ronus are just giving themselves bad names. They don't even know. As soon as they show up, they know. Even in that, on their Ghanaian website, as they were talking, the host was asking, "Where are you from?" When they say, "We know you are Yoruba. That's why you are talking like this. So why are you so against your own fellow brother? Why are you doing this? What have they done to you?" It's embarrassing. If you guys don't know, it is embarrassing. May they continue, because you know what? Nothing when they go up, when they come down. You see this life where all the people when they don't do what they do past time, where they did today. Posterity go judge everybody accordingly. Me, I don't get energy for all that talk right now. I don't get the energy. You did the same to China, and Chinese copied the technology and mirrors and reproduce. Yep, that's how you do it. But no, your African traditional leaders, instead, they were raking in money. They were making bank. They didn't care. All they wanted more and more and more. See, now we did so. Abi, did you understand? Did you even hear what I said at all? Did you hear what I said? I don't understand. How are you relating the Ghana must go of that time to now? Is that what we are talking about? I'm telling you about something recent that's happened. You're trying to bring that in. Are you for real right now? Please, that's not the point. You are not getting it. If you don't know what this is about, sit it out. Just listen. For crying out loud. We're not talking about that. This is a new thing that's happening. For crying, what is up? What's up with you? Please listen to understand. Don't just listen to type. What are you trying to defend? What exactly are you trying to defend? By trying to use an analogy of what are you exactly are you trying to defend? Is it okay for Yoruba Ronus to be going to another person's platform to be bringing out, calling out Igbo people for them to be hurt and harmed? Is that what you're trying to normalize by using this as an analogy? I don't get it. Are you okay, AB? What do you mean? I beg, may I end this life? I gotta go. I had one other video that I wanted to share with you guys, but nah, I can't do it tonight. I'm going to just hold it till tomorrow or whenever I can come back on live. If you guys don't see me tomorrow, just know that I'm taking a break. But yeah, so that's what's going on. But before I leave you guys, please focus on what we need to do for the 2027. I beg you now. More we talk, more continue the conversation wherever you find yourself. I beg. I beg. We'll carry this conversation forward. If you guys have any concerns, I beg, reach out to Peter Obi or those people around him. The man needs help. Enough you think everything finish. I beg. Make we also try help him however way we can, and let's take it easy with him. All these people that are having, and if there are people in your spaces that are not, or they are pushing their own candidate, it's okay. Let them push their candidates. But that's what it's about, right? Let them push their candidates. You and I know we know who we are supporting. Let's also push our own candidates. I don't think this is a time to shut down anybody. This is my own opinion, no. Unless the person is just talking opposite, he's saying another thing that don't make sense. It's different. But if it's that they're pushing their own candidate and they, hey, you have a lot of points, strong points in your arsenal to counter all these people. So there's no need. Now the same Nigeria we did. At the end of the day, whoever Peter Obi wins, he's going to win. He's going to be president over everybody, not just a group of people. That's how magnanimous he is. It's not like some people who come into presidency and focus only on their BFFs in Lagos. Okay? Kenny, you're not serious. Kenny, free me, leave me. May I come out for mouth? Kenny, why you dey yab me? What's your... leave me alone. Leftover agbalumo. Oh my God. Yeah, I will. I'll try. Well, if you see me tomorrow evening, you might even see me in the morning. That's the crazy part. But I am going to try and stay away from the news for now. How do you guys know I'm in chewing gum all day? Hey! I beg go, Abi. I don't know where you take it. Whatever. Anyway, guys, it's been really good. Thank you so much for, let's keep the conversation going. Like I said, I beg. Anywhere you find yourself, people are talking about their own. Counter them with your own facts. There's no need. We need to strategize. We need to do things differently. So nobody know pass, right? Even when some people they talk things when they annoy you, sometimes they learn from inside as well. So then we just leave and let others leave. It's okay. My own be say me my own candidate win. Now that one I consign me pass, and now that one be my focus. You understand? Madam Luke, thank you very much. Oh, I appreciate. AB, thank you. AB, stop looking for trouble. And listen first before you jump enter conversation. Kene, Seed, Michael, Natu, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you now. I go see you now on my next one. We dey here. I'm even zooming cars. Natu will soon give us car proverbs. A car needs 4 tires to drive. Whatever. Yeah, my window is up. So cars when they pass. Now residential area a day, but cars they pass, So you go hear everything. Your ear too sharp, Kenny. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good night, everyone. See you on my next one. Bye.